You're listening to a fight against free kill laws from AMP Media Production Studio.
Welcome to the Fight Against Free Kill Laws with Ed Salazar, where we give a voice to those who have suffered firsthand from medical malpractice. In Florida, families devastated by medical negligence are left without justice because of a law many don't even know exists. Florida's free kill law prevents families from holding doctors accountable. These are real stories with real loss and no justice. Contact Ed at 561-239-2417 or visit afreekill.com. Today we uncover the truth, share real stories, and demand change.
Good afternoon, friends, and thank you again for taking the time to tune in and watch our show. Again, we continue to gain momentum. The numbers in this movement are growing very, very rapidly. It's incredible and heart-wrenching at the same time, the number of people that have been responding and who have either a loved one in their immediate family or someone they know who have been a victim of this free kill law. It doesn't matter whether they're people that are in their late 20s or people that are end of life. They were people that were loved. They're somebody's father, somebody's mother, somebody's brother, somebody's sister. And it's, our fight to be sure that every life gets the respect that it deserves. Tonight we're going to have a guest, Mr. Daryl Perritt. And Daryl has been involved in this for quite some time, as his story will relate. In one of the previous shows, we talked about his very bold move to start a billboard campaign, which talked about, it played on Governor DeSantis's motto about the free state of Florida. Well, Daryl took it one step further and made it the free kill state of Florida. And my understanding is that this billboard is right on the southbound lane of I-95 as you enter Florida from Georgia. That's got to get somebody's attention. Okay, so I'd like to go ahead and bring Daryl in. Thank you for joining our show, Daryl.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Daryl, tell us a little bit about yourself. I know you're an entrepreneur. You're a businessman.
Yes. I was a single father, 2 kids. My son Cameron, he was 15. My daughter Summer was 10. I bought a abandoned pit vegetable stand in Florida, skirts of town, and started basically a smokehouse, a barbecue smokehouse, and built a little shack around it, and it became pretty successful. We're extremely well known in St. Augustine and throughout the area. It's not a barbecue restaurant; it's a smokehouse. So, you could think of it like a New York deli. You can go in and buy a pastrami sandwich, or you can buy a pound of pastrami. At Smoking D's, you can go in and get a pork sandwich or a pound of pork. But we don't have any tables or any chairs or any ovens or any microwaves or anything like that. It's not a restaurant, it's a smokehouse. We like to say you can eat it anywhere in the world except here.
That sounds great. And I guarantee you, my friend, as soon as I get up to St. Augustine, it's going to be the first stop I'm going to make.
We'd love to see you.
Now, I understand that, Cameron had become a large part of this business. You guys were partners.
Yeah, well, as I said, when I did it, Cameron was 15. He was still in school. The shop was just a couple of miles from the shop. And so after school, even before the place was built, he was selling boiled peanuts and watermelon on the weekends. just to get some revenue going sometime. I would be taking care of his sister, and I had my normal job. Once we got going, we became extremely successful quickly. Just opened 3 days a week, but when we opened during the week, Cameron was, I'm not going to say MacGyver type, but he was loved and an extremely good communicator. So after school, he would come to the shop and work the shop, and during lunchtime, he wasn't allowed to leave the campus because he wasn't a senior, but seniors weren't allowed to leave the campus. So he would talk the lunch ladies into letting them out the back door, and seniors would pick them up, and they'd run to the shop and get a bunch of Wet Wednesday sandwiches, which was kind of like a sloppy Joe that we sold on Wednesdays, and bring them back to the school, enter into the back cafeteria, and suddenly there was a bunch of Wet Wednesdays, smoking these sandwiches inside the school. I ended up getting a phone call from the assistant dean saying, every Wednesday, Smoking D seems to be ending up in the cafeteria. Anything you could do about that? So that was kind of Cameron. He loved the shop. He loved talking about it. Literally, he was a showman, and that was what we did. I mean, when you come to Smoking D's, we hand cut everything before you get. We don't take orders ahead of time. You walk in the door, you tell us, because we have everything ready in the pit. So you want a pork sandwich? He cut a pork sandwich. You want a pound of pork? You cut a pound of pork. You want a slap of ribs? We cut a slap of ribs, wrap it up. So Cameron loved being there. He loved cutting the meat. He loved interacting with the customers and joking and having a good time. We always had blues playing, and that was what he wanted, what he loved. And, he thrived on the attention and the respect and the quality of what we did, because we sold out every day.
I don't doubt that one bit. Jay, do we have that picture of Daryl and his son? Yeah.
Yeah, he was about 16 or 17 there.
Well, the picture tells the whole story, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, okay, Daryl, tell us, I know this isn't easy to do, but, please tell us, what happened, the events that led up to this tragedy.
Well, Cameron worked in the shop. About 7 years ago, we opened a second shop, his shop, downtown St. Augustine. He lived a block away from us. And his girlfriend called me and said he was in the shower throwing up something black. And we know now that it was mostly a bile and blood. Cameron had a history of blood clot. The medication that they gave him made his heart race. It had bad side effects, so he would go on and off of it. But he was in real agony, and I rushed him to the emergency room. True agony. It was, you don't want to be in the car. It was tough. We got to the emergency room. He put his finger where the pain was emanating from, and he told them that he had a history of blood clots. And I assumed that they would do everything, or I thought they were doing everything. But he got worse and worse, and they ran tests, he was admitted to the hospital, and then that was on a Sunday afternoon when I rushed him. I got another call early Wednesday morning, about 2 in the morning. He was throwing up blood. There were 7 nurses around him, and When I got to the hospital, they said they were moving him into intensive care.
Excuse me,
So-
just a second. So he went in on Sunday.
He went
And
on
this-
Sunday.
Okay, and in the meantime, they were doing testing on him, and
They were doing testing on him. They admitted him. He repeatedly, I was in the room when he repeatedly told them that he had a history of blood clots. We've had an emergency room physician look at his medical records now. And on Monday morning, they did a physical exam, pushed on where he said the pain was. He screamed in agony. And so much so that the physician said he couldn't complete the physical exam. And the emergency room physician that I had looked at his record said he should have gone to surgery right there. So that was Monday.
that was on Monday.
That was on Monday morning. He should have gone to surgery. He probably should have gone into surgery on Sunday in the agony. And he may have, if I'd have called an ambulance, they might have done something different. I don't know. But because he walked into there but screaming in agony.
Well, what
And so
happened
he
all day
remained-
Tuesday then?
Right. And so they did more tests, and he would, it would be really bad, and he was throwing up the black bile. He did that in the emergency room, and then it would calm down. And he would be feeling better, and I could communicate with him. I could talk to him. And they would run tests. And then suddenly, 12 hours later, he's throwing up blood and throwing up bile, and they're all in a panic. And what we know now is that Cameron had a blood clot, exactly where he said it was, and his internal organs were losing oxygen. He had nothing going, no oxygen going. It was right at his heart, and no oxygen was going to his internal organs. So Wednesday morning, they put him into intensive care, and that was probably the third time that they should have sent him to surgery, but they sent him to intensive care. They said, we need to stabilize him. Wednesday, about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, they told us we were going into surgery. And they told his mother that he only had about a 5% chance of survival. His internal organs had had no oxygen for nearly 3 days. So he died the following day, Thursday.
Without ever going to surgery.
He went to surgery. They came out 45 minutes later and said, no, his internal organs are all dead. There's been no oxygen to any internal organs. He's going to die. So I spent the next 12 hours holding his hand while he slowly died. So did the rest of us, family. So his mother asked the surgeon, why did you wait so long to perform surgery? And he said, I don't know. They called me at 2 o'clock today. That was Wednesday afternoon at 4:30. Cameron had been in their care since Sunday afternoon. So that was Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday afternoon, they did surgery and told us he was going to die from exactly what he said he had when we admitted him on Sunday.
And he was how old
So-
at this? He was how old?
He was 33. He had no children and no wife. His deep desire was to find a woman and have a family. He repeatedly thought he had found the right woman to marry and have children, but one thing or another didn't work out, and he wasn't the type of person that would just have a baby and not be a father. He wanted a family. He wanted to be a father. He wanted to have a wife, and it just didn't work out that way for him. But of course, none of us ever knew that this law would prevent us from finding out why they didn't do this. What the surgeon said We have, I don't know why they didn't do anything earlier. Those are the last words the hospital has spoken to me or the family in the last year. I have had absolutely zero communication from them other than me going there and getting his medical records. They did not say what. So the conclusion is surgery that they did was totally performative. They realized that they should have done surgery much earlier, and it was too late. So they did a performative surgery, knowing before he went in that he was going to die.
You know, I can understand certainly why you're so heartsick, but I can certainly relate to and understand why you are so angry.
Well, I smoke meat for a living. I'm not a doctor. I expect the people who do that to do the right thing, do the best can, and if they make a mistake or they do something wrong or whatever, to at least come to me and say, we screwed up, or, what do we do? But to totally ignore and pretend that Cameron didn't exist. There were thousands of customers that Cameron served. He knew people all over this town. He won Rhythm and Ribs competition. 100,000 people there. He had the best ribs in the place. Everybody knew Cameron and everybody knew Smoking Deeds. But suddenly, in the hospital, he was nobody.
Did you at any time after Cameron's passing, did you speak with any lawyers about any?
I repeatedly called lawyers and was completely shocked that this law exists. And then,
so prior to that, you'd never heard of it before.
Oh no, and that's the whole point of the billboard campaign, is that nobody knows this law. We've spoken to doctors and nurses who don't know this law exists.
Yeah, well, as I said on previous shows, the healthcare system, the hospital that was part of the healthcare system that my son was at, I worked in that system myself for 30 years.
Right.
That's where I met Christopher's mother, and neither one of us knew anything about this. We were confused and shocked when lawyers told us, you don't really have many options here. So what are you talking about? How can you not,
Yeah. Yeah, everybody should be held accountable for that. And, I don't need money. I'm a successful entrepreneur. I have 2 businesses. I have everything I need. Cameron was going to inherit everything. A multi-million-dollar business. I'm 65. Last August, Cameron was going to take over all of it. And with the business model we built, he could have opened up none. He could have opened up 5 smokehouses like that. But he's gone, and I got nothing.
When did you become acquainted with the Florida Medical Rights Association?
I discovered them simply by talking to lawyers, and I hired a nurse a retired nurse to look at his medical records and go, what happened? Because the hospital would not say anything. And existing emergency room physician, and they are the ones who told me about what the records revealed, and then led me to the Florida Health Department, which led me to the Medical Rights Association. Which, they're doing a great job, and frankly, finding them, it was therapy to talk to other people who were going through this.
Right.
It doesn't make it any easier. It doesn't change anything, but I'm in a pretty dark place, and I've been in a pretty dark place, and you know, I have my wife and I have my daughter, and everything else that I planned and wanted and expected is gone.
When you, like, you know, all of us, when you heard the rationale that Governor DeSantis gave for why he vetoed the law, you know, what was your visceral reaction to that statement?
I was so angry because it's exactly opposite of the facts. He referred to us who are trying to just find out why my son is dead, as if I was trying to get money.
Jackpot justice, wasn't that the
jackpot justice. And the truth of the matter is this law exists so that the profit of the healthcare insurance industry remains. That's the reason for this law. And that's what they're protecting. That's what he's protecting. He's protecting the profits of the health insurance industry in the state of Florida.
Well, what puzzles me is why, if this law is designed to protect the stability of the healthcare system, then why isn't it in every state to this degree?
Right.
That makes absolutely no sense. So we know there's something going on.
But again, unless you're a victim, you don't know about this law, which is the reason I did the billboard, the reason I've started End Free Kill Now, which is what's on the billboard. So the purpose is to educate all of the people, both in Florida and who visit Florida. I mean, if you visit Florida, that's the reason it's on 95. If you're coming for a cruise at a Canaveral and something happens, well, guess what? The protocol is in Florida. If you die, you've got no rights. Doesn't matter if you're from New York or Nevada. Mm-hmm. You have no rights once you cross that border.
Well, if people, people listening to this, if they want to help you, if they want to assist, what is it that they can do?
Well, you can. The purpose of the website and End Free Kill Now is to educate people of the danger that they're in when they enter a Florida medical facility. And so the first thing is, are you free kill? So there's a questionnaire on there, 3 simple questions to determine whether you have rights inside a Florida medical facility.
Are you older than age 25?
Right.
Are you married?
Do you? Right.
Do you have any dependent children? Dependent children.
Right. And think about it as a person in the state of Florida. Until the age of 25, you have the same rights as I do in healthcare. You turn 25, you don't have the same rights. You get married, you do have the same rights as you did when you were 24. You get divorced, you don't have rights. You have a child, you have the same rights as I do. Until the child turns 25, then you don't have rights again. So just one person can fall in and out of the free kill category, and if something tragic happens at that time, not your mother, not your brother, no one can hold anybody accountable. So I hired a research firm out of Jacksonville. There's a minimum of 2 million people in the state of Florida who fall right now in the free kill category and have no rights inside a Florida medical facility. So there's some tips on what you might want to do. One of them I recommend, and the attorneys are recommending now too, do not put single unmarried in your admittance form. Lie on your admittance form. Say married. What are they going to do? At least that pulls you out of the category within the facility. I'm not sure that I don't believe that's going to protect you in any way, but at least it's something that is not a flag to the hospital, the medical facility, that it doesn't matter if this patient lives or dies, they're going to be held accountable.
Yeah.
So then the second thing that they can do is they can put their email address. We will give them updates. And then what I'm trying to do is raise enough money to put a billboard on 75 and I-10, which are their major arteries coming into the state of Florida. And if I can, I'm going to put billboards up in the district of those lawmakers who vote against the ending of free kill. They basically do not believe in the Pledge of Allegiance, liberty and justice for all.
Agreed.
So, so I'm going to, if I can't hold the physicians accountable, I'm going to hold the politicians accountable.
And
so they can,
and we're there to help you.
Well,
the website that was put up earlier under Daryl's name there, right there. If you go on that website, you'll see a little box that says, how can I help? Right? Click on that box, and you know this billboard campaign is powerful. Anything that you can do to help, no amount is too small. Everything helps. This is an expensive thing to do.
Just being aware.
Be aware. Communicate with your representatives. I don't think a single delegation meeting goes by in the state of Florida where someone from our movement is not present and voice their concerns. That's what it needs.
It's really picked up since I've run the billboard.
Yep.
You know,
no doubt.
You're right. You're right, Ed, and I appreciate you putting me on your show here. It is. That's what this is. This is a marketing problem. If the politicians are capable of not being held accountable, then they're going to be. They don't care. But if everybody is calling them, and there's advertising and marketing, and oh my goodness, I'm not going to get reelected if I don't change this vote or change this law, then they'll change it.
Well, one thing that these politicians understand is numbers. Now, you know, we are in a battle against the special interest groups that have a ton of money to throw at this. Okay, but we can develop numbers, and those are the numbers we have to show folks. Daryl, I can't believe our time is up. I'm sorry. Maybe we might have to do part 2. But
if you'd like to, I'm happy to do it. And what I'll do is I'll give you an update.
Excellent.
You know,
we'll do that.
because your show, the radios that I've been on, the other podcast that we had 57,000 people on Reddit.
Those are the kind of numbers that get attention.
Right. And when the politician realizes, hey, I might not get reelected, then they'll start paying. Then they'll start listening to us.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you very much, Daryl.
Thank you.
And folks, please, you can invite people to watch this show. You can watch it on our Facebook page, Ed Salazar Free Kill. Free Kill Laws on Facebook, afreekill.com, all capital letters. Please like, follow, and share. And the more numbers we get, the more power we have. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for watching The Fight Against Free Kill Laws with Ed Salazar, where we interview those who have dealt firsthand with medical malpractice. Families are devastated by medical malpractice and left with no justice. This isn't just a loophole. It's a failure to protect the ones we love. It's time to change the law. It's time for accountability. Contact your state legislatures, visit afreekill.com for more information on how to help, or contact Ed at 561-239-2417. Because every life should matter.
You're listening to A Fight Against Free Kill Laws from AMP Media Production Studio.